Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another episode of Call of Duty Zombies Myth-Busting Mondays. And today's video, for the final myth, we're going to be testing out something pretty cool in my opinion. We are going to be testing if whether or not that you can upgrade the Apothican Servant in Revelations by getting the blue rocks that you need from the sky all within the spawn room. The 5 elemental rocks that are in the air. Can we get them from just the spawn and basically get the Apothican upgrade in just a few minutes? That is what we're going to be testing here at the end of the video. If you guys end up enjoying today's video, please drop a like. And if you have a myth of your very own that you would like to have be featured in next week's episode, either please put them here in the comments of this video or within my Discord server, which is going to be linked down below in the description. But with all that being said, guys, I hope you end up enjoying this week's episode of Myth-Busting Mondays. Myth: can you get the Bowie knife on Moon without low gravity turned on? Alrighty guys, so here is myth number 1. Now I'm going to show you guys how to get the Bowie knife the legit way first, so you guys know what we're trying to do. So to get the Bowie knife the official way, you have to end up not turning on the power when you see the power switch. You have to run past it actually and go where I'm going right now. You have to go up this staircase and the Bowie knife is up there on the wall. This can only be achieved normally with low gravity on because of the way that it's positioned in the map. It's around a corner and you kind of have to jump at a weird angle to get it, but if you are persistent enough, you actually will be able to get the Bowie knife. You just have to work for it. But what happens now if we turn on the power and put normal gravity back into the map? Can you still be able to jump around the staircase corner and be able to grab the Bowie knife? So here I am trying to grab the Bowie knife right now, and you guys can see that immediately it's much harder to reach. I'm just trying to see if I can get at least one frame where I'm able to end up getting the hit scan to show up so I can be able to purchase the Bowie knife, but I'm not even able to really get to the height I need. After a few minutes I got curious and I decided to go into the Amethyst mod and enable the jetpacks from multiplayer to see if I could reach it, and immediately I was able to grab the Bowie knife. So I'm going to say that myth 1 is busted. I'm pretty sure that since the Bowie knife doesn't get purchased by most players, that Treyarch, when they originally released Moon, decided to put it just out of reach, so that way it would convince players to end up using the low gravity feature more. But anyway, let's move on to myth 2. Myth: can the giant robot laser that reveals a hidden perk on the giant kill a player if they stand in the way? Alrighty guys, so now let's do myth 2. So for those of you guys that don't know, there is a little Easter egg on the giant where if you end up throwing monkey bombs in each one of the 3 teleporters and then take the teleporter and then go back to the spawn, you can hit a red button that will end up shooting a laser out of the giant robot that is in the map. And this will reveal a hidden perk, which is either Deadshot or Stamina Up. So I'm curious to see if whether or not that this laser will actually kill a player or if it's just a cosmetic effect. So I'm going to hit the button now, we're about to find out. Now from what we can see when the laser is hitting Tyler's character in the penis, is that we see that the character model doesn't end up reacting or flinching or anything, and therefore does not receive damage. So myth 2 is busted. It's just only to reveal a hidden perk on the giant and nothing more. Myth: does a triple pack-a-punched red tier gun do more damage overall than a legendary tier gun with no pack-a-punch in Cold War? Alrighty guys, so myth 3 is submitted in by Tyler. So in Cold War here on Day Machine, we are going to be having 2 different versions of the M1911. Tyler's is just going to be a normal legendary version with no attachments, no pack-a-punch, no nothing. And Dan's is going to be a red M1911 that is fully packed to pack-a-punch level number 3. So let's start with the gold M1911. So with a body shot, it looks like that it's around 900 damage, or just above at 923 for an upper mass body shot. And with the red M1911 here in a second, it looks like the damage is 420, which is kind of funny. Now these damage numbers are pretty consistent regardless of how many times I shoot the zombies or where I shoot the zombies. Their numbers are usually around the same. Now the weird thing is though is when you start to get a headshot. So with the normal legendary M1911, when I shoot a zombie in the head, you guys will see that the number is going to end up being slightly different. Now that's a given, but the weird thing is when I shoot a zombie in the head with the red M1911. For some reason, the red M1911 has a higher damage output when it's a headshot. Now this could be for a variety of different reasons. It could be because I have Deadshot. It could be because sometimes I ended up killing the zombie when I shot them in the head. It could have been the fact that they had different health pools when one zombie was slightly weaker than the other. But this was fairly consistent throughout our testing. So basically, at least from my point of view, and I did show this footage to Tyler, Dan, and Nitwit, it looks like that we've come to the conclusion that for some reason, if it's a headshot, the Red M1911 will do more damage than if it's a body shot, which in that case, it's the just legendary M1911. Now keep in mind, I want to mention something really quickly here, is that in Tyler's myth, he's just asking about damage overall. And I even asked him, I was like, Tyler, do you want to look at this from the point of view of shooting the zombie in the body, or do you want to look at it from shooting them in the head? Because depending on how you look at it, you're going to get a different result here. And he said, just go for the head. So if we go with that approach, therefore that means that Myth 3 is labeled as confirmed, because we're looking at it from the headshots, which technically the Red M1911 did more damage in that regard. But if you look at it from a different way, I can see how that some of you may deem this as the other way around and make it busted. But since this is Tyler's myth, I'm going to go with this. Myth. In 9, can you get into the tiger cages in spawn using the elixir nowhere but there? Alrighty guys, so myth number 4 is going to be submitted in my lava. So for those of you guys that are not familiar with Black Ops 4, let me explain a little bit how 9 works. On round 9, which is kind of a funny, cheeky thing that Treyarch did, there will be a tiger round. This is supposed to be like the hellhounds of this map, and basically they come out of these cages in the spawn. Now, in these cages is also poisonous gas. If a player were to go in there and down, when the tiger round ends and the poisonous gas goes away, would another player that is using the nowhere but there elixir be able to teleport to that down player, and then the both of them could just be able to be out of the map in that cage? Well, we're going to find out. So Dan is going into the cage, and the round just ended. But immediately Dan gets revived, and he's put outside in the spawn again, which is very interesting. Apparently, it doesn't end up allowing you to do this. It just automatically teleports you into the map and just denies you to even attempt this. So Myth 4 is busted. That was kind of anticlimactic. Alrighty guys, and now we're moving on to the final myth of the episode, and once again is going to be, can you upgrade the Apothican Servant in Revelations by just shooting the rocks in the sky from only the spawn room? Is that enough to be able to end up getting the upgrade for the map? Well, we're going to find out right now. Myth. Can you shoot the Apothican Servant upgrade rocks from the spawn room in Revelations? Alrighty guys, the last myth of the episode is going to be submitted in by Dan. Now, this is going to be tricky to see at the naked eye, but I will zoom in if necessary. So, in Revelations, there is going to be these blue rocks that you can shoot with the Apothican Servant, and when you get all 5, you can upgrade it. The only problem is that these rocks are tiny as hell, and they are blue on blue, so it's very, very hard to see. But, we're going to try to attempt to do this ourselves and see if whether or not that this is true. So here is going to be our very first rock. Dan is shooting at it right now with a sniper, and once I notice it, I will zoom in for you. The tiny little rock is right there. It is right in between the Apothican's crosshairs, and this guy is very hard to shoot. But eventually, after a few minutes of persistence, I was indeed able to hit this rock. It's hard to notice, but the pixel just disappears. Then there's this one, which is a little bit more straightforward. This is just straight in the sky right next to the blue little earth or moon or whatever this is. Then there's going to be this one that is to the left of the corruption engine that will take you to Noctur and Toten. Now the next one is going to be also to the right of the corruption engine, like how that the second one was. This one was so tiny that I couldn't even see it when I was looking at it, because I only saw just the one. And then the very last one is going to be right next to this floating island that is slightly different angle than the one that we just shot, but is still pretty much at the right of the corruption engine. And now we are going to go all the way to the gummy worm and see if whether or not we got them all, and if we can pack-a-punch the Apothican Servant. So when we go up to the pack-a-punch, as you guys can see, all the blue rocks are in the back of it, and when I go to try to end up pack-a-punching the gun, it does indeed let me. So the pack-a-punch does indeed work for the Apothican Servant if you shoot all the rocks from the spawn room, which means that the final myth is confirmed. If you really want to, you can upgrade the Apothican Servant by shooting all the rocks from the spawn. But yeah, guys, that is going to be here for today's video, and I do truly hope you guys ended up enjoying it. If you did, please consider dropping a like, comment, subscribe, follow, and all that beautiful stuff. And once again, if you have a myth of your very own that you would like to have be featured in next week's episode, either please put them here in the comment section down below, or you can also put them within my Discord server, which is going to be linked down below in this video's description. But with all that being said, guys, I truly hope you end up enjoying seeing another YouTube video from the most unique YouTuber you're ever going to see. Thanks for watching, guys. I love all of you, and peace out.
Hey meme lords, Jesus here, and you better have enjoyed that video there by the eternal god Daddy Ninja. You should probably subscribe too, or the mighty Moab will come for your balls. If you enjoyed the video, you might like it too, and give me the memes. Flash, bang, boom!